So, you want to hear something? Some lies that are always told. Whew. God, well, some lies that are always told. First lie you hear a lot is that it's not about race. It's not about race. Nothing is about race. This is America. This has never been a racist nation. And people actually say that with a straight face. You know what I mean? Or, I don't see color. I don't see color. As soon as somebody tell me they don't see color, I know they full of shit. All right? Because I can see you coming from a mile away. And besides the fact I can see whether you're a male or a female, I see what color you is. So you see color. You really have no choice. Right? Even if you colorblind, you see color. But people always say they don't see color. Anyway, that's so stupid. That's why I always tell people that image is important. Our image is important. Me, I know it's been a saying that, oh, one black person, if you as a black person, you represent the whole black community. No, the fuck I don't. I represent me. When I go somewhere, I represent me. I don't represent the whole motherfucking black community when I do something. I don't. Because some nigga on TV that's, I don't know, like in the what it was, 80s, 90s, when they were showing like a lot of cracked out motherfuckers on TV and trying to paint us all with a broad brush. Or when you see a nigga on TV because he done some dumb shit, you feel me? And they try to make it seem like that's all of us. No. You're not going to do that. Because when I see a white guy on TV, people don't paint that as the whole white community, right? I remember watching this video. I watched a documentary on it, but I seen it on the news first. It was this guy, he had killed his whole family. He killed his wife and his daughters, right? White guy. And when they showed him riding jet skis. They didn't show him like no picture of him looking angry or no mug shot or no shit like that. They showed him riding jet skis and with his family and shit. Not to mention, now, with his family and shit, but the family that he killed, right? I think he put his daughters in an oil drum or oil well or buried them somewhere. Some shit, right? But he did that. All because he wanted to be with another bitch that kind of looked like his wife and shit. When he could have just left. You feel me? But there's not a broad brush painting this as the white community. Right? But it's a broad brush painting every nigga you see, every black person you see as the black community. Except when they doing something exceptional. You feel me? He got a high IQ. You know, he's an engineer, he's a judge, he's a doctor, he's a lawyer. Now, when you see those kind of black people, you feel me? That's an anomaly, right? That's an anomaly. You feel me? Because black people not smart. No, black people are thugs, savages, gangbangers. You know, rapists, crackheads. You know, that's it. Yeah, monster. Right? So that's why I say image is important. Because I said this before and I'm gonna say it again. We having a massive uh uh it's an invasion, whatever you want to call it, you feel me, of illegals coming into this country, but they are looked at as the people that are gonna build back better, build this nation back better. So you, as a black person, is going to have to learn to get along and work with Hispanics, right? Because they're going to build this nation. Immigrants build this nation. You feel me? Not you. Not 400 years, 500 years of slavery and working for free and all this old fucking bullshit where they're not gonna tell you that it was an indentured servitude and basically you're like, you know what? I don't want this job anymore. I quit. You feel me? Not you running through the field like Kunta Kinte and getting bloodhounds sicked on you and getting ripped apart by dogs or getting your foot cut off or getting your hand cut off or whatever. You feel me? Or getting hung up from a tree while people take pictures under your feet. You feel me? Or hanging a black woman and cutting a baby out of her stomach and then grabbing the baby by 2 feet, smashing the head on the rock and shit. Right? Or a book called The Delectable Negro. You feel me? Where they teach you how to cook a nigga or some shit like that. It's not that book. Or the fact that, to practice all of their medical procedures, you feel me? Doctors used to buy slaves and no anesthesia and practice medicine on them. Not just medicine, but surgeries and all kind of shit. Because as a black person, you're very strong. You gotta, you can take the pain. And people said that now. That's why a lot of women die during childbirth. A lot of black women die during childbirth. That's why a lot of black people die in hospitals and shit. Because people don't take you serious when you're in pain because they feel like you can take it. But anyway, this is why image is important. This is how you are. This is why how you are represented on TV is important. This is why when you niggas take these crumbs to play these roles, you feel me? Well, no. I'm not even gonna get into that because that's the low tier shit. You feel me? That's the low tier shit. The major shit is that the fact that a motherfucker can label you something and you motherfuckers accept it. A motherfucker can show you one black person on TV doing some fuck shit and then you will accept that as a representation of your whole community. Niggas accepted that bullshit. You feel me? I don't see Hispanics and Asians accepting that bullshit. I don't see Arabs accepting that bullshit. You feel me? They try to label every Muslim, Arab or every Muslim as a terrorist. Right? They don't accept that label on their community. So why do we accept everything a bitch throw on us? The bitch throw some bullshit on us and we accept it. So like I was saying, right? People think having money and being wealthy and rich is some white man shit. Feel me? If a nigga got money, that's some white guy shit. You know what I mean? So if you see me, black guy, riding in something nice, you feel me? Living somewhere nice, you feel me? I have to be doing something, or I have to be an athlete, or some kind of rapper, right? Or a movie star or something like that. You feel me? That's like, there's no other lanes for me because you think I'm not smart. So niggas have actually accepted that, right? So when somebody tells me it's not about race and that they don't see color, I know they fucking lying. You feel me? When somebody tells me that America has never been a racist nation, I know they fucking lying. You feel me? I'm watching motherfuckers storm the border and motherfuckers showing all kind of restraint. You feel me? I'm watching motherfuckers storm the border now, and it's not even storming the border because you let motherfuckers in and we busting them all over the country. We giving them food, we giving them shelter, we giving them money, we giving them opportunity. And we got this rewrite of history where we want to tell you that all of these immigrants have built this nation from the ground up. They did everything. You right? They did everything, right? And you did nothing. You hear me? So people want you to be looked at as the worst of humanity. That's how you represent it in movies and TVs and music and in books and in everything. This is how you represent it. And this is a role that you took on. You accept it. Because now being an intelligent Negro is looked at as like you trying to be white, which is weird because intelligence don't have a color. You feel me? Who told you that being intelligent had a color? Who told you that being well-spoken had a color? Who told you that wanting more out of life had a color? I'm going to tell you who told you that. Your great them taught they kids that who kept passing it down. That's why when you was growing up, people used to tell you that you have to get it from white people. You feel me? You want something good, you got to get it from white people. You know they got quality stuff. You feel me? Everybody done heard that shit before. So don't try to act like there's something foreign that I'm saying that you ain't never heard that before. You feel me? Because that's what they tell you. You know, you take your car breakdown, you take it to a white mechanic. You feel me? You go to a white doctor. You feel me? You want a white pilot. You feel me? That's why when Buddy said that, you feel me? That's what they all think. A lot of people think that, not just Buddy. A lot of people think that. A lot of black people think that. People think that you're not qualified for shit. When really, if a black person is in a position of power, trust me, this is not an affirmative action hire. Trust me, if a black person has anything, he had to work his fucking ass off to get it. Believe me. You feel me? Because ain't nobody getting a nigga nothing. Nigga, even with affirmative action, like I told you, it's just like the Rooney Rule in football, nigga. You feel me? We gonna bring you in, you feel me, and talk to you because we gotta meet quota. We gotta interview at least 4 niggas now. You feel me? But at the same time, to use that as an example, or to make it seem like no matter if we give you niggas a leg up that you're not qualified for the position, we will pick the person that's least qualified for the position and put them in the position just because they black. You feel me? So we can say, see what I'm saying? They're not qualified for this position. You feel me? So we're gonna ignore those qualified for the position to put somebody who's not qualified for the position just to try to prove a point when I tell you that black people are not qualified for the position. This is the type of games they play. You feel me? In this nation that has never been a racist nation, even with redlining, even with segregation, you know, even with the Jim Crow laws, you know, we never been a racist nation. You know what I mean? Even with the school to prison pipeline, even though you label a third grader as somebody in the third grade as, you know, they have no future. You know, I was at the Battle of the Bands probably like a month ago, and you can tell by the bands, the schools that are the neighborhood that the schools are in, by the size of the band, the instruments that the band was able to have, the uniforms, all that. You can tell. You can tell that this school is in a neighborhood where they got proper funding and money, and you know it's a good tax base or whatever. You know what I mean? And you can tell the schools that barely hanging on to their music program, and that school needs funding, that school don't have no money. You feel me? You can tell by the band. You feel me? But like I was saying though, so in this country, when somebody tells me I don't see color, then this and that and this and that, we know that's bullshit. You feel me? So if you see a nigga in position, he worked his ass off to get there. Now what he do when he get in that position is different. You feel me? Now you can want to be in a position, you can work your way to get to that position, but what you do when you get there is something completely different. Because a lot of people sell their souls. You feel me? Fuck everything they've been through. Fuck everything that they had to go through to get in this position. They get to mingle in certain circles now. Now they forget where they come from. They forget what their whole goal and purpose was. And all their morals go out the fucking window. Right? And that's a big part of you feel me? But that's life. It's a circle. You feel me? People will throw their morals away, their values away to fit in. I mean, it happens. You feel me? It happens. But you got to understand that, bro, no matter your financial situation, no matter your education, no matter what your title is, no matter, at the end of the day, in this country, you still a nigga. And that's how they look at you. So, as a nigga, you must understand that there's a lot that niggas have accepted that they shouldn't have accepted. And that's the reason why niggas get looked at the way they do. Now, you can change that for you, just like I can change it for me. I can't change it for everybody. Niggas have to look at themselves different and have to look in the mirror and understand that, listen, the label they put on me in this country, bro, that's not who I am. You feel me? I'm not going to let them determine who I am. I'm not going to let them labels stick to me.